From the studios of Staten Island Community Television, you're watching In the Bleachers, the TV show for the world's most passionate sports fans. Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie Hickson, joined by my dear friend on the phone.
The hardest, baddest, sexiest man on cable access TV. The man of the hour with the power. That's right, with the tongue that can last a long time and better than the Energizer Bunny. Yours truly, the one and only. What a big build-up for me, right? Hector Bosa. Yay! I'm the only one that can get my last name right. So, Jamie.
Yes.
We have a lot to talk about in very little time.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with this. Conor McGregor's leg.
Oh,
Wow.
I saw the whole horrific episode.
That was something. That leg seemed like it was twisted the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
What did you think of it? And do you think they'll have another fight? Again, considering, that's a freak of thing that happened to him.
To be quite honest with you, I'm not really sure that this is worthy of a rematch. And after what happened over the weekend, I think Conor McGregor's star is starting to dim a little bit.
I'm sorry.
So am I. I feel sorry for him.
Well, again, that was an accident waiting to happen. I don't know if they're going to have another fight again, because that was supposed to be the grudge match. But do you retire on that note, where you get your leg battered up so badly, or do you try to go and fight the guy again and say, you know what, that was just luck, because my leg gave out?
Yeah. So,
can you hear me?
What does this mean for McGregor moving forward, though? I mean, obviously, there's going to be a surgery and there's going to be a long rehab. But what does this mean for him, aside from that?
Well, if you think about it, if you think about it for a moment, what does it mean for him? Does he go and say, you know what, it was a lucky shot? Do you go and say it was a lucky shot, let's try it again? And if so, how much money does he get? Because he still attracts people.
This is true.
But how much of an attraction is he if he's going to be injured prone? Because the last time he lost to the guy, the last two times he lost, I think.
The last two times? Then this only reiterates the theory that this is not worthy of a rematch.
And that's the thing. If you get an injury like that, is that your fault that it happened, that you should stop fighting? Or is it, let's give it a go again? What would you do in that situation?
Knowing how competitive and how highly he thinks of himself, he's going to want to fight again.
I don't think, how old is he?
He's in his 30s.
Is that old for UFC?
For UFC?
Especially
it
when
could
you've had
be.
the injuries like he has. Is this his first major injury, or has he suffered more injuries?
I'm not really sure if he's suffered any other injuries in the past.
But that was something else, and I tell you. Now, and as for the other guy, he's got nothing to prove. Now, do they pay him more? Do they pay the other guy more? Or do they pay McGregor more to fight him again? And do you want to see that fight over again, considering this happened? Would you want to see a rematch?
Would I want to see a rematch? Possibly. And for the record, Conor McGregor just turned 32. In fact, he's going to turn 33 years old this coming Wednesday.
So, again, do you, as a fighter, I don't know if that's too old for a fighter nowadays. I don't know. I would figure at least 35 would be, that's it. Because I don't know what time and what year Brock Lesnar decided to go into it and then stop and then go and then stop again.
Speaking of Brock Lesnar, did you see him during a workout recently? He's sporting a ponytail now.
Oh, wow. You know, there's a lot of amazement. I wonder if he's trying to build a new persona for him. And is WWE, which I dislike disputably. I just like NXT right now, but I don't like WWE so much as much as I used to.
Oh,
because they're hiring writers that don't know who the wrestlers are. And I listen to Jim Cornette. I listen to some of these old broadcasters, the podcasters. You know, like Jim Cornette is the most famous one probably, and then Conan second, and I forgot the guy's name, the Stud, something Stud, and even Don Morocco's in it. He has a pod himself.
Don Morocco, he's still around?
Yes, he has a podcast called Magnificent Something, and he's doing it with another guy. And it's amazing what podcasts can do for people. And I think the person that is most relevant is probably JR, Conan, and Jim Cornette.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the only three. I don't know about Raven Effect or the Blue Meanie or some of them other guys. I don't know anything about it. All I know is even X-Pac has a cast, and Taz had one too. There's a lot of people that have these blasted podcasts.
From what I heard, Chris Jericho has a pretty good podcast.
Yeah, and you know, and I've heard it. I've heard it. And Ric Flair had one. Roddy Piper had one. So
doesn't Stone Cold have a podcast as well?
Yes, he does. He had two. He had one that used to curse at one, and he had one clean one, one dirty one. Let's say. Where the other one you can really just shoot the crap.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one, you had to be more verbally, have a restriction on your verbal skills.
I see.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So he's relevant too. And him, Cornette, they're all saying that they don't know how to feel pain. They don't know how to throw a punch anymore. They don't know how to do a lot of things. But even in the 90s, when they had the Attitude Era between the 80s and 90s, as bad as some of the older wrestlers didn't like it, I think it was fun because it meant something. If someone got hurt or someone got kidnapped, you really felt for that person. But now you don't feel for anybody here. And all of the organizations, the only ones that I like are NXT, ROH, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, MLW, NWA, and I know there's small ones like Memphis Wrestling, and some of them little other ones that you don't see that you get to see on YouTube.
I wonder
but the major ones are MLW, ROH, even Impact Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
But they're at the bottom three. They're not at the upper three.
I wonder if Memphis Wrestling is any relation to the old Mid-South from back in the day.
Well, the new NWA by Billy Corrigan or William Corrigan, that's supposed to come out sooner than later. They're going to start touring soon.
Yeah.
But they lost a couple of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Knight. I forgot it. MJ Knight, I think is his name now, or RJ Knight. He was in the NWA, and he got picked up with to NXT.
And another of the wrestlers passed away.
No, he hasn't passed away yet, but I'm
talking about another wrestler who passed away.
Who passed away?
Remember the question mark?
Oh, yeah, the question mark.
The question mark passed away.
Yeah. He passed away just recently before some other wrestler passed away.
Speaking of
Brody Lee passed away.
Speaking of wrestlers who have passed away, a Hall of Famer just went to be with the Lord, and that's Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff.
He passed away too?
Yes, he did. Died of
wow.
Died
when
of
did
CT.
That happen?
Earlier, I think it was either earlier today or yesterday. He died of CTE, which caused dementia.
He died of mental problems?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and they were saying that what's his name, Terry Funk, was going a little having problems too.
Oh yeah.
But that's restrictive in its own right.
Mm-hmm.
But and somebody else that died that I didn't hear about was one of the Steinbrenner boys.
Really?
I didn't hear too much about it. I really didn't know about it until just recently. And I'm going, how come I didn't hear about this? Because normally you would hear it on ESPN. They would make a big deal out of it. And they didn't make a big deal out of it. And I'm going, now which one died? Hank?
Yeah, Hank Steinbrenner passed away.
Is that the one that was a little more like George?
He was a little like George, yeah. I mean...
Or Hank was it his other brother who was more controlling?
No, the more controlling brother, he's still around, and he's running the Yankees all by his lonesome.
Okay, because I tell you, they didn't say much about him. And what do you think of the Yankees right now? Do you think Aaron Boone is the manager for them? Are they going to make any major trades? What do you think in all this?
If they are going to make a major trade, it has to be for a bat, because the guys that they have right now are just not doing it. And what a colossal end to yesterday that the Yankees suffered at the hands of Houston. And who was it that wound up killing them again? Jose Altuve. He beat them with a home run in the 2019 ALCS. He beat them with another home run at Yankee Stadium in May, this past May, and he beats them with a home run again just yesterday.
Is that the cheaters?
Yeah, the Houston Astros.
Yeah. So that's the thing, too. Now that you found out that these people have cheated, is that a bigger rivalry than the Boston Red Sox?
No, the Red Sox will always be the Yankees' chief rival, but the Yankees do have something cooking with the Houston Astros, especially after Gary Sanchez and Aaron Judge wound up throwing a little shade at them for Altuve's little jersey tug when he beat them with that home run 2 years ago.
You know what? If you lost, you have to take it. You may not like it, but you have to. It's like flipping the bat when you hit a home run. No team likes when you do that. You're showing off. But that ripping of the shirt, that's been done with the Mets and a lot of other teams. I think that's ridiculous. But hey, you know, I think that's ridiculous. But that's just me. But in most cases, you have this team that on paper, they're supposed to be one of the best teams in the world. On paper. And when you see them play, they're not the best team in the world. So is it Aaron Boone's problem? Especially when he wants to take out a pitcher and the pitcher's telling him, leave me alone.
You know what? It's about time somebody put Aaron Boone in their place the way Garrett Cole did that Saturday night. I was thinking maybe that could be the spark that the Yankees could use to give them some help the rest of the way. Until what happened yesterday with Altuve's home run. But let's see what happens the second half of the year after the All-Star break.
And also, is anybody interested in the All-Star game anymore? Is anybody interested? What's more?
The rating, the rating
the
is
home run, or seeing the All-Star game.
I,
And if they tie, are they going to go until 2:00 in the morning, or will they stop at a certain time?
No, they're going to keep on playing. It's not going to be like 2002.
Because I think that's ridiculous. But, if you used your pitches, that's your fault because you're supposed to manage it like a real game. Now, which is the most realistic game? Is it the All-Star game, the All-Star hockey game? And it's not the football game because that's ridiculous. The All-Star football game, that's ridiculous. Because and the basketball All-Star game.
Well,
I think that's the worst one.
I happen to like basketball's All-Star game, and I also happen to like baseball's All-Star game too.
I don't like the basketball one. I don't like the basketball one because they don't treat it to win. They treat it as an exhibition of, okay, people want to see the best play against the best. Okay, even if you're choosing teams, those are supposed to be the best guys that come out of the league that people have voted, coaches voted, and the fans have voted.
Well, I'll tell you what. Baseball's All-Star game could get a save because tomorrow night, Shohei Ohtani is going to be making his All-Star game debut, and he's going to be not only the starting pitcher, but also the leadoff man for the American League.
That's great. That is great. He's been in the league for 4 years. He was Rookie of the Year. And this is what I'm saying. With the All-Star game, I think baseball takes it the most realistic one of them all. Somebody wants to win, but there's a reason why they want to win because there's something that comes out of it if you win or lose, I think. Or did they take that rule out?
Wait, what are you talking about?
The All-Star game for baseball. Remember they had a rule that whoever wins the All-Star game gets the home advantage?
Oh, home field advantage for the World Series? Yeah, they still have that.
So, as many times as people don't like it, which I particularly don't, but you know what? The game, people want to see realism. They want to see people play. The basketball All-Star game, that's a joke. 137 or 140 to 137, let's say. That's a damn joke. People want to see, like you're really playing in a game, defensive game. I think baseball, when it comes to All-Star games, that's the best one to see. And I think probably the second one is hockey. And
I don't know about you, but
joke.
hockey's All-Star game has
the
lost
hockey
its luster
All-Star
with
game,
me.
at least they play hard. Football and basketball, they don't play hard at all. I'm sorry.
Since when did they play hard?
I mean, I know they don't want to get hurt, but play the game. Don't make it like it seemed like you got Dan Marino on there throwing touchdowns left and right. I mean, that's my opinion. I think baseball and hockey are probably the best things to watch when it comes to All-Star games. Football and basketball are just a damn joke. The three-point shooting, that's great. But when it comes to the actual game, I think it's a joke. I think it really is a joke. And, the Olympics are coming soon.
Yeah,
and
July 23rd to be exact.
You had that poor girl being caught with pot. She had pot in the system. I didn't know it helped rejuvenate you, It's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to help you. I didn't know it was a performance enhancing drug first and foremost. I didn't know that. I thought it mellowed you out and so on, but I guess I'm wrong. I guess this only happens in the United States that pot is legal in some places. But I don't know. I think she should still run.
Yeah, she should, because pot is not like the other drugs.
Now, but it's the World Organization that does this,
Yep.
okay? And two, you had that other chick, that other girl, that or young lady, that when they played the national anthem, she protested.
Hmm.
Now, people were infuriated because she made a statement. I think she turned her back. I think she came in second or in third. I'm not sure. Maybe first. It was a track one, I think.
Right.
And she just turned herself looking the other way. What do you think of protesting when it comes to the Olympics?
Well, the Olympics frown on protesting, first of all. I personally don't have a problem with it. If they feel like they want to make a statement, more power to them.
But then you have, let's call it left and right for a second.
Mm-hmm.
You have the people on the right. The people on the left will accept it, but you got the people on the right saying, this is the greatest country in the world. Why is she doing that? Why is she embarrassing the United States? And you got the people on the left going, well, we should be able to protest because that's our constitutional right. But then you have the people on the right going, but why do you have to do it on the biggest stage in the world if anybody's interested in the Olympics anymore? So you have a lot of, it's like Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
When he started protesting, and even though there was other people protesting, but he was the one that was singled out. And you heard people again saying, oh, he's disrespecting the flag, even though he went to a veteran himself and said, just kneel down. And you got one side saying, oh, he's disrespecting the flag, he's disrespecting the United States. But then you got the other guys, the guys on the left going, but hey, we so-called minorities who are Americans are getting beat up. Nothing is getting done. You got a cop that took a manslaughter charge for 3 years. He pleaded a deal for 3 years. If I killed someone, I would go for 10 or 20 years.
Or life.
Or for life. Or they would kill me because I'm a minority. Or if I'm not minority, I'm poor. They don't do that to the rich majority of the time.
Nope.
But my point is, you have the right to protest, but do you protest in the biggest platform in the world, the Olympics, where everybody can see, because nobody else protests, no other country protests that we see or that we hear of? And you've heard of people protesting with us. They'll put armbands that are with us, that they're with our fight. But there was a girl that did it, and they blasted her completely, saying she's not American, she doesn't want to be there, she shouldn't be there. What do you think of all this that's happening?
I think it's typical of these right-wing nimrods to want to stir up trouble, first of all. And second of all, it's gotten to the point where people want to make a big deal about everything, and it just shouldn't have to be that way anymore. Whatever happened to free speech? Whatever happened to freedom of the press? Whatever happened to downright freedom?
You know, that's passing away, it seems, because One says you're disrespecting the United States, and how dare you do it in the platform of the United States, making us look weak. And then you got the other people going, that's the best play to protest because maybe the world can see us and help us out. And then maybe that'll help other countries as well. I mean, the choice is yours, I think, because look at what happened to Giancarlo and them other guys. And didn't they say at one point there was, if you go to the Olympics, you're not allowed to protest?
Yeah.
Because it's about sports. But yet they have the coronavirus over there running wild again, supposedly. And you're competing, but these are people that have competed, that they dedicated their life just for this one purpose. How do you take that away from them? Just like in the 1980s, where Jimmy Carter, was it Jimmy Carter, I think, or was it someone else that didn't go to the Olympics, so we had our own Olympics?
You're talking about 1980, right?
Right. I'm assuming that's the one. I think Carter was the president at the time because we were in Cold War with Russia, I think. And he said, we're not sending our team. And then they had their own Olympics over here in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
If people wanted to come here, they did. And if people wanted to compete over there, they did. I don't know what happened there, but I think that's what happened. But I think those people that's the thing. Politics aren't supposed to be involved when it comes to the Olympics. So if politics are not allowed in the Olympics, but you still have people protesting, does that mean that they're doing the wrong thing, even though they're showing the world that, hey, we're having problems, and it still hasn't been fixed yet?
You mentioned before why people might be embarrassed. If anybody should be embarrassed, it's them. Because I'm seeing some racial tendencies, some racist tendencies going on with the people that might be protesting. Keep in mind, we live in a society where there's a lot of racial tension. And it doesn't look like it's going to get any better anytime soon. Sports is all about trying to unite people, not drive them away. If anything, these athletes should probably be more empowered now than ever to make a statement of some kind, because there is so much backlash and so much hate taking place with these guys. I mean, look at what happened after yesterday when England lost the Euro Cup to Italy in overtime. That kid, that poor kid that wound up missing a PK, he and two other black players on England's team wound up getting racist remarks directed their way. Why shouldn't they make a protest about the atrocities that are going on in their country? And let me tell you, racism is probably the biggest atrocity that there is right now. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, but it happens in sports. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. You hear a lot of soccer players talk about racism a lot, and they protest too.
Yep.
And people that are with them, they'll protest as well. And, not for nothing, but even me, the hardest, baddest, sexy man on cable access TV, I get really bad treatment sometimes. They think I'm going to steal something. I don't have to steal anything. I can just get it if I want. But, when you go in a store, they look at you funny, or they'll tell you, hey, I see you, but I'm doing nothing. Or those fake security guards that they have, they're only there they're not there to stop you. They're just there just for security, just to look. They don't get paid enough to stop people. But, I dislike all bad people of all bad professions. Where are the good people in the world? The only time there's any good is when something bad happens, like 9/11. That's when you see the goodness of everybody. Or when Christmas comes, that's when you see the goodness of everybody that you hear on TV. But when it comes to sports, they still going through racism. All minority players.
Yes, they are.
And then when you try to speak about it, whether it's here, whether it's all other major sports, you get a backlash. You have even people that said that there's no more racism.
Oh,
look at all
please.
the amendments that we have.
If anything, it's worse now, or just as bad now as it was 50 to 60 years ago.
Well, for certain things, yeah. For certain things, no. We have a right to due process, but we don't get the right due process. And secondly, when you get a ticket, like a parking ticket or a speeding ticket, why can't the government provide you a lawyer? They should. That's part of the city or the government. Why not? But that's what I'm saying. Sports, if you try to say something and speak your mind, other people will say you're disrespecting the people that fought in the war for us. But those people that fought in the war for us, that's what they were protecting.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to sports, you have people throwing batteries at baseball players. You have soccer players. I think soccer players get it the most.
Oh, soccer's got it really bad.
Especially because they go to different countries and so on, and I'm going, that's ridiculous. But this is a serious issue, and no matter how many times you try to move the dial, they're saying you're doing it the wrong way. Well, what is the right way then? How do you protest the right way that people will see you? Is it in the Olympics like John Carlos and other people? Or even after that, there was a protest last Olympics, I think, because of all the shootings of the minorities.
Yeah.
There was a black band or something. Even other people from other countries did it. So are people going to see the Olympics this year? Is baseball anymore? Because with all the new rules, at least we get to see this new kid that's been in the league for 4 years. He's a pitcher and leads off, and he's in the American League. He's in California Angels, or the Los Angeles Angels.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
And when have you ever heard of that? Besides Babe Ruth.
They're saying he's better than Babe Ruth.
I don't know about that.
Me neither.
Babe Ruth had 200 strikeouts.
Yeah. And Babe Ruth had 715 home runs.
Exactly. And he was the leader. But again, because of segregation back then, you never knew who was the real leader. But again, all I'm saying is that we have to see something of miracles. We have to see a miracle like that kid. We have to see people playing. Basketball. Do you need a ring to solidify that you're one of the greatest players in the game?
I mean, it's not necessary. It would definitely help, but it's not necessary. No.
Some people say you have to win a championship to solidify at least that you've won, that you're up there. Even though the numbers say different, because you've beaten some of those guys that are number-wise. If you look at the stats, like Moses Malone, he never won anything, but he's one of the best forwards of all time.
Moses Malone won a championship with the Sixers.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yes, he did.
Not Malone, the mailman.
Yeah, Karl Malone.
Yeah. Because he played with Portland, didn't he?
No, he played with Utah.
Oh, the Utah Jazz. That's right. They never won. Oh, Charles Barkley never won a championship ring, did he?
No, he never won a title.
And he's another one that's one of the best players in the game.
Yep.
Now,
I can give you three other guys, too. Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller, Dominique Wilkins.
Now, do you say that they were the worst? I mean, they're not the worst players in the game, but do you put them up there even though they didn't win a championship?
I would definitely put Patrick up there, yeah. And I would
And
definitely
some
put Reggie
people
Miller
wouldn't
up there
do
as
that.
well.
Some people would say unless he won a ring, it doesn't matter anymore. Even though he's got better stats than most of the people that did win a ring.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But basketball now, how's that going along? The
Well,
Bucks?
The Suns lead the Bucks 2-1 in the NBA Finals right now. The Bucks won Game 3 just last night, and they're going to have Game 4 in Milwaukee Wednesday night.
It's not the biggest ratings together, too, because I'm sure they wanted one high-profile team, and they got two small teams.
Two small market teams, you mean?
Yes. And you know what? I'm happy because the best team won, right?
Yeah.
And Giannis is supposed to be one of the best players in the league, but they dumped on him because they don't have a companion. And now they want to make super teams, and if you make a super team, they dump on you too for making a super team. They dumped on LeBron when he made the super team. They're dumping on people that are trying to make super teams so they can win a championship.
Well, this final is probably a prime example that you don't need a so-called super team to get to the NBA Finals. You've got the Suns, which have Chris Paul, a future Hall of Famer, and Devin Booker, a terrific young player and a great, great shooter. And who is on Milwaukee? Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's only won 2 straight MVP awards.
And some people were saying that they were playing better without him.
Those are the people that don't know basketball.
Because they won before. They say that the basketball is smoother when he's not there because he's the guy that you have to give the ball to. And I'm going, if you playing smoothly without him, then something's wrong with you. If he's asking for the ball too many times, then that's on you. If you got the shot, you should shoot it.
You know, it's
because
not...
what is he doing wrong that's making the team supposedly look bad, even though he's one of the best players in the league?
Well, Giannis's problem is that he has a tendency to be a little bit too jump shot happy, whether it's the mid-range jumper or the three-point shot. He is much better in transition and also taking guys off the dribble, creating a shot for himself so he could get the ball in the hole. As far as Phoenix is concerned, Chris Paul has shown that for 2 games in this series, he is a Hall of Famer waiting to happen. And Devin Booker has been lights out shooting the ball. Not only that, but look at some of the other guys that the Suns have. DeAndre Ayton, a former first overall draft pick, he's been terrific playing the middle. And also guys like role players like Tyler Johnson and Cameron Payne and guys like that. The Suns so far have looked really well for 2 games. And because of that, they've got the lead. Now, as far as Milwaukee is concerned, Milwaukee's got their share of role players as well. Guys like Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Brooke Lopez, the ex-Net. Milwaukee, I mean, do they play well when Giannis is not on the floor? Yeah, they do. But it shows you that they have the role players that would allow them to play well without Giannis on the floor. If all Giannis has to do is try and create shots to get the ball strong to the basket, if he can do that and also work his magic in transition, the Bucks will be a better team.
And Damian Lillard's name is crossing the universe, going to the Golden State Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Because I sent you a lot of reading material. That must have been fun. Talking about Damian Lillard going to the Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry and 4 other guys, the 2 other guys. And I'm going, that's a super team.
That's a super backcourt, that's for sure.
Exactly. That's one of the best backcourts in the league then. And then if you got the other guy the 2 other guys that are coming off injury, then you got a damn good team. But they don't have much room left. So Damian Lillard is either going to the Golden State Warriors, the New York Knicks. If he goes to the New York Knicks, I'm hearing R.J. Barrett. And I'm going, and Frank Ntilikina actually exploded very well. He did 12 points.
That was playing for France.
Yeah. He seems to play better ball. I think because he's used to the European way.
Yeah.
He plays better in Europe than he plays here.
Then it's probably best for him to go back to Europe.
Or maybe another team, even though he's got length and all that. But, and like I said, you have Damian Lillard going to the New York Knicks. You have Damian Lillard going to Golden State Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Him going to the Lakers.
No, nobody has asked Damian Lillard what he has thought about all of these trade rumors.
All he said was, and I heard him on the radio, he said, if you'll know when it comes from my mouth, you'll know what I'm doing when it comes from me, because people are speculating, his family, his friends, let's say, coaches, they're speculating. It's all speculation of where he's going to go, because Chauncey Billups, that wasn't his first coach that he wanted.
He wanted Jason Kidd.
Right. But he's no LeBron. Only LeBron can pull off a guy and go, if I want this guy, you get him for me. He's the only guy in the league that could actually pull that off. Nobody else can. Do you think there's anybody else in the league that can pull it off? That can pull what LeBron can do?
You mean try and put together a super team?
Yeah, because he's the one that's if he wants a coach, he'll get that coach. If he wants a player, they'll try to get that player for him.
Well, like I mentioned before, Devin Booker was able to lure a superstar in Chris Paul over to Phoenix. Steph Curry probably could lure a superstar over to Golden State.
Does he ever have that much pull to be able to go and say, you know what, if you don't get this guy, I'm leaving?
Honestly, I don't think Steph is that kind of player where he would make those kinds of demands. But
I could see LeBron doing it because, like I said, LeBron, they pissed on him when he went to Miami because he did a super team there. Good, you won a game. Good, I'm glad. If nobody can beat you, that's on the team. That's on the other team. That's not on you. And then he went back to Cleveland. They did like a super team for himself, but he carried most of the team. And now he goes to Lakers. They got another star there, and they got really good players there. But if he wants Damian Lillard, they will try to get Damian Lillard for him. And he may be able to go to the Lakers because you in your head you're going, if you go to a super team, you don't have to play as hard as you used to. You don't have to carry the team like you used to. You got someone else to do it for you.
oh, and I disagree about Cleveland having a super team. They did not even have anything close to having a super team.
Who's that?
It was just LeBron and Kevin Love and a bunch of role players. That was it.
He did most of the work, but if you notice, he had the coach that he wanted, and he got some of the players that he wanted too. They're just not there no more.
Mm-hmm. I'm
I
hearing.
think LeBron's got most of the pull. Anywhere he goes, he's got the power to say, "I want this guy, I want that guy." And could that hurt the NBA if you're one of the greatest players of this era? And
could it hurt the NBA? I don't really think so because
if
it's
you have
just
all the stars going, you either get what I need, or I don't want to play, because that's what happens sometimes too. That they'll go, get me this. If you don't want me to leave, get me some good ball players.
I still don't think so, to be honest with you, because it's just
like
one guy.
I think LeBron is the only one that can pull it off.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's just one guy who is creating all of this pull for himself.
Oh, Ben Simmons for Damian Lillard.
Oh, please, Ben Simmons for Damian Lillard.
I mean, he'll get you to the promised land, but he can't get over that hump unless he's got better players that can shoot the damn ball for him.
Tell you what, Damian Lillard would make the Sixers much better by himself.
It's not that Ben Simmons is a wash now. He is a damn good ball player. I mean, he's been in All-Star games and so on.
He's also afraid to shoot the ball.
That's true, too.
I mean, he actually passed up a slam dunk to pass the ball. Who passes on a slam dunk?
Like I said, he's more of a passer defender. Would you want him on your team?
No.
Yes.
No way.
But the problem is you have to have people that you have to have at least 2 or 3 players that can actually shoot the damn ball. He's just a passer.
Exactly.
And he'll probably shoot the, shot mid-range. That's about it. But other than that, he's more of a passer than anything, and he's a damn good defender.
Good defender, good passer, but afraid to shoot the basketball. You can't have your point guard be afraid to shoot the ball. I mean,
that's true. That's absolutely true. But like I said, he'll get you to the hump, but he won't get you over the hump. You have to have better players around him. But,
and if Portland makes that trade, then their general manager should be fired.
Well, they're going to get more people. It's not going to be a straight up trade now. But CP3 is going around everywhere. He's going to the Knicks. He's going to stay. He's going everywhere, and he's going nowhere.
Or he'll retire.
I don't think so either. But
Although he's kind of
he's
young
playing
to
his
be
best
retiring.
game so far at 35. So, who do you think the Knicks will get, and who do you think the Nets will get? How do you think? Who do you think the Knicks or Nets are going to get?
Your guess is as good as
anybody's.
anybody's, to be quite honest with you. I don't know who's out there. I mean, we'd have to wait until August to see what free agents are going to be out there. But as far as who they should get, who they should get is a number one point guard who can dominate. That's number one. Number two,
in the draft,
either in the draft or via trade or via free agency. That's number one.
okay.
Number two, get a defensive stopper, specifically in the middle. Someone who can team up with, who could form a tag team with Mitchell Robinson.
When he's not hurt.
When he's not hurt.
It is his last year of his contract. Next year is his last year.
If I'm the Knicks, I would seriously think about giving the kid an extension because he's been superb defensively for them.
And I've been hearing him going on trade talks too. Getting rid of him. I've heard trade talks with R.J. Barrett and Mitchell Robinson going just to get Damian Lillard. I'm going, that's ridiculous.
Well, I made it clear before who the Knicks should get to be their point guard. I think it should be Kyle Lowry. But seeing how Chris Paul can dominate a game and how he can change a game and more importantly, how he can win a game, maybe the Knicks should think about Chris Paul after all.
I think Lonzo Ball would fit in.
Lonzo Ball would be another example. Although he can't shoot for a damn, to be honest with you.
But he can create. That's the thing.
He's definitely a good creator, though.
He's really good creator. He like Ben Simmons. He can create and he can shoot a little bit, but he's more of a creator. He can pass the damn ball and make you look damn good.
At least Lonzo Ball can shoot better than Ben Simmons
you have
can.
To get an outside shooter. And with the Knicks, I think they have 4 draft picks this year, and only one opening.
Mm-hmm.
I think, even though Alex Burks may not come back, some of them other guys who have the 1-year option, they may not come back next year.
Yeah.
And who lands with the Nets?
Who lands with the Nets? As far as names are concerned, I really couldn't begin to tell you. But who the Nets should get is a 3-and-D guy.
And who's out there for that?
Well, like I said, I'm not really keen on any names, but...
Because I tell you, the Nets are a super team. Jesus, that's James Harden.
Harden and Kevin Durant, who, by the way, is on Team USA.
And they lost to the,
Which lost to Nigeria in a scrimmage.
In a scrimmage. Who'd they lose to?
They lost to Nigeria.
And there's this 19-year-old kid that they're looking after now.
Well, that much I'm not really sure about. But if they're looking at him to either play the point or be a defensive stopper or a 3-and-D guy or any type of wing guy, then more power to that team.
Yeah, he's 19 years old. I don't think Nigeria's got a basketball team. Do they?
They have a national team.
Oh, okay. Because this kid is getting a lot of eyes. And it's just a scrimmage, but you're expecting the basketball players to play their hearts off a lot of times, and they don't want to get hurt,
mm-hmm.
especially in scrimmage. You want to play hard, but you don't. You try not to. But who's on that team? Do you know?
For Nigeria?
No, for the Olympic team.
Oh, for Team USA?
Yeah.
Kevin Durant, Bam Adebayo, who a lot of guys feel should have been playing for Team Nigeria, especially after yesterday. In fact, Nigeria trolled Bam Adebayo for that. Now let's check out the roster right now. See if we can get some names over here.
Because that's a super, like I said, that's supposed to be, Emmanuel Quigley and Obi Thompson, they tried out.
Here we are. Bam Adebayo, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Jeremy Grant, Draymond Green, Drew Holiday, Zach LaVine, Damian Lillard, Kevin Love, Chris Middleton, and Jason Tatum.
Damon Lillard,
Yep.
Kevin Love.
Mm-hmm.
They have to put some college kids in there too, right?
Nope. All pros.
I'm surprised because the way they had it was you had to have at least 2 college ball players and the rest pros. They must have changed it.
And this is a young team, too.
Is Emmanuel Quigley or Obi Thompson on there?
They're on the USA Select team, which is a step below the real national team.
So they're the substitute in case somebody gets hurt.
Yes.
Ah. So imagine having 2 Knicks.
Won't happen.
Didn't Patrick Ewing play?
Yes, he did. He played in the Olympics twice.
As a Knick.
As a Knick.
Damn right. Damn right.
And now he's doing just fine coaching Georgetown.
Didn't he have a son playing basketball? Or he had 2 sons. One was a basketball and one was a basketball player and one was a coach.
There was Patrick Ewing Jr. Started his college career at Indiana, then transferred over to Georgetown. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he's one of Patrick's assistants.
Yeah, and then I think he had another son that's playing pro. They're trying to get to play pro. And
not really sure about that.
And LeBron James's kid, they're looking after him like he's solid gold.
Oh, Bronny James, yeah. Don't be surprised if you see LeBron James and his son playing on the same NBA team together in the future.
Would that be the first?
The first father-son team? Yes.
Yeah. I know that there have been brothers play together, but I haven't seen father and son.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got a minute left. And I just want to say, next week is the week. The 700th episode of In the Bleachers.
Next week?
Next week.
Next week.
Next week.
So that means we're going to have drop-ins and call-ins and are we
You're going to have to wait and see to find out what's going to happen, Hector. You're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen to find out.
Wow. We're going to have call-ins and everything. You may even have me there. Who knows what can happen?
Well, if you drop by, we would love to have you there.
As long as there's foods and women, that's fine.
For everyone here, I'm Jamie.
I'm Hector.
We'll see you for number 700. Good night, everyone.
Night-night.